Hi people. So I am gonna go over this exercise here, exercise 10, which says creating a Linux virtual machine, and then we're gonna follow the steps here. All right. So let's do this first. Let's go ahead and copy this name here. I'm already at home, virtual machines. I'm gonna add a virtual machine. Okay. Our resource group is going to be this one. That's the name. West. That's fine. This is fine. Instead of SSH, select password, because if not, you're going to have to do SSH -I and then the SSH key and then the username, etc., and then it's going to ask you for the password. But it's easier just to have a username and a password, and you already can log in. So I'm going to put password here. All right, then it tells you to select port 80, and then I believe that it. Azure spot, no. This one, password, username, password, port 80 and 22. Okay, perfect. Let's create it. Create. Now I'm going to use Ubuntu here. I have a virtual machine with Ubuntu here, so I'm going to do that. Okay, so I already navigated to this home directory, Udacity Scholarship, and then I unzip it. Make sure you unzip it, and then you move to that directory, do ls, then move to web. No, let's just leave it here. Sorry, because this is where we're gonna grab. We're gonna grab this this directory here. We're gonna grab it, this folder. All right. Let me go back and go back to the instructions. So it says SCPR, username, IP address, home, and then this is where I guess I'm gonna place it in the virtual machine, in the home of the username that I created, JP. It happens to be that mine also is JP at that, and then the location where it's going to be, if I'm not mistaken. So all right, let's do that. So SCPR web JP at, and my IP address, which is, let me go to resources, and this is the IP address here. So it's 40.11. Let me see if it copies, because sometimes it's not letting me. No, 40.108.207.35, and then it's gonna tell us that the home, and then JP. Okay, so this should work. Yes. Password. Okay. There you go. All right. So now what it tells us next. It tells us to install this. So we do let me move that to my second screen because I can. So first of all, in order to do that, we have to connect to the machine. So I'm gonna go ahead and SSH to it. So I'm gonna do SSH JP at the IP address of the virtual machine in the cloud. Okay, and the password. Okay, so we're into this Linux machine. Then our next step is going to install the Python environment and the nginx. Okay, so it's going to be sudo apt get -y update and then sudo apt. Okay. I'm gonna pause the video and let it install. Okay, so I already installed that, so I'm back. The next thing is, let me make sure that I have the web there. Yes, I do. I have web here. Let me see if it has downloaded everything. Application, requirements, flash tempo. Okay, everything is there. Now let me clear this. Move up to this. Now it tells us to navigate to this directory. So this directory here, etc. Sites. Okay. So we have this default. It tells us to remove it. So I'm going to use vim. So sudo remove default. Sometimes it's good to move it and just name it like default.backup, but it tells us to remove it and paste certain information there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to do sudo. You have to do sudo vim and then default, because it's not going to let you save it as a written file. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and type this. Make sure you have no typo, because it's imperative that you don't. If not, it's gonna throw back an error. Okay. See, I made a mistake here. Spelling. Server. Lesson-2-Exercise-10. Location, root directory, proxy pass, HTTP, localhost 3000, HTTP 1. Okay, perfect. So once this happens in Vim, for example, you have to press escape and then shift double, and then you're gonna see it in the bottom here, and then you just press WQ, right, and exit. Okay, and then ls, and you're gonna see the default there. We can cat it, and we should see what you type. Okay, so after that, what does it tell us? It tells us to do a sudo cerberus ngs restart. Now, for Ubuntu, what you have to do, you have to do a sudo system ctl restart nginx that service. Let me spell service here. Okay, and then we check the status. It should be up. So it's active and it's running. Okay. Now the next thing that it tells us to do is that as best practice, update pip in a newly created virtual environment. So how do we update pip? Well, we do a sudo apt. Let me clear this. We can be in the top of the screen. Sudo apt sudo apt install Python pip. That should install it. Well, I mean that, let me check that we've done everything. So we did this, so it didn't give us an error, so that looks good. We're doing this, but we're using Ubuntu, so we're using systemctl. Change the way we create an active virtual environment as best practice. Now we're going to install dependencies, and then we're going to run the application. Okay, so let's just wait for that. Okay, anytime soon. All right, there you go. So let's go back to our home directory, cd2web, ls, and then we have requirements. The way that you do install it is sudo pip install -r requirements. Okay. All right. Now ls again, and we're gonna run the application. So sudo python application. Okay. So that's running on HTTP localhost at 3000. So if everything runs fine, we should be able to, with our IP address, this IP address here, see that running, which is 40.118. So HTTP 40.118.207.35. There you go. All right, hopefully this helps some people.